You are now tuned into a brand new episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sap. Well, today, guys, man, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about the elephant in the room, man. We got to talk about how Kevin Stefanski, the media, and all the haters lied to us about Shedeur Sanders. And it's obvious that something ain't right. But we're going to talk about all that here next, right after this. Well, guys, man, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about the elephant in the room, man. Last night I did a show with G. Bush from the barbershop, man. Salute to my man G. Bush in the barbershop. And if you guys haven't watched that video, man, that me and G. Bush did last night, y'all go check it out over there at the barbershop. Let me know how you feel about it. Get down in the comments section. Let me know how you think I represented on the barbershop. Well, let's get off into it, man. We got to talk about all the lies and disrespect surrounding around Shedeur Sanders. Now, we all know Shedeur Sanders was the 5th round pick of the Cleveland Browns, 144th overall. We know that Shedeur Sanders is not a 5th round talent. He's a 1st to 2nd round talent. And that showed. That showed last week on the football field against the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, the media and Kevin Stefanski has lied to us countless of times surrounding around Shedeur Sanders. All the narratives out there on Shedeur Sanders. You listen to what Rex Ryan says. You listen to what Dan Orlowski says. I can mention more names, but I'm not getting into name dropping. But the thing about it is we've been lied to. We've been bamboozled. And it's disrespectful. Now, all of a sudden, Shedeur Sanders goes out there and plays against the Las Vegas Raiders. He does his thing. Now it seems like everybody want to switch sides. Now, don't switch sides now. Stay on that side that you was on before because of all the lies and the narratives that you had surrounding around Shedeur Sanders. Now, I find it kind of odd that the Cleveland media, such as Mary Kay Cabot, Jason Lloyd, Tony Grossi, they have a lot of things to say. Even Anthony Lima have a lot of things to say negatively about Shedeur Sanders in the past. But as time moved on, like we talked about, once they got Joe Flacco out the equation, things started getting very interesting. That went to show you that Shedeur Sanders was climbing up that ladder, right? Dylan Gabriel has some footsteps on his back. Now, we've saw what Dylan Gabriel has brought to the table. In the 6 games that we saw Dylan Gabriel out there, he never got better. He never progressed. Shedeur Sanders was thrown in the fire against the Baltimore Ravens in the second half when Dylan Gabriel went down with the concussion. He was in concussion protocol. And Shedeur Sanders went out there and did what he could do with the tools that he had, not having first-team reps with the guys that was on the field. But that second game when he got to start, when everybody talks about a 4 week of practice, no, Shedeur Sanders did not have a 4 week of practice. 3 days of practice. And he went out and performed against the Las Vegas Raiders. And in one starting game, he showed vast improvements. He showed everybody what Shedeur Sanders is all about. He showed people that Shedeur Sanders is him. He showed people that the same Shedeur Sanders you got at Jackson State in Colorado is the same Shedeur Sanders that you're going to see in the NFL. Now, a lot of people had these narratives about Shedeur Sanders taking all these sacks. He drops back too far. You saw none of that against the Las Vegas Raiders. He took 1 sack for -1 yard. He threw 3 balls in one game down the field further than Dylan Gabriel has thrown in 6. Dylan Gabriel's longest pass is 25 yards, and that's Jerry Jeudy. You saw the dot that Shedeur Sanders threw to Isaiah Bond. You saw that. You saw the 39-yard pass he threw to Jerry Jeudy. You saw the passes to Earl Fanning. You've seen that. You've seen the little out routes to Cedric Tillman. But the media has lied, and they created this narrative that Shedeur Sanders couldn't get the ball down the field. He had a weak arm, and everything that is outside of football, he got penalized for in the draft, and that's why he fell to the 5th round. But we watching this guy, and now the media has lied to us again, because now the media wants to be like, we told you so. Shedeur is him. Nah, y'all didn't have that same energy when Sanders was fighting to get on the field. He was fighting to get on the field. So I was listening to the radio this morning, and I heard Mary Kay Cabot say some things in the defense of Kevin Stefanski, which I'm getting tired of, because when Cam Newton put it out there about Kevin Stefanski not wanting Shedeur Sanders to succeed, I believe that, because you saw in the game against the Raiders, even though he's not calling plays, he still got a hand in what Tommy Rees is doing. Trust me on that, because at Wildcat formation, that was something that Kevin Stefanski implemented when Dylan Gabriel was in there. He used that same scheme when Shedeur Sanders got you down the field on that one play with Isaiah Bond, took Shedeur out. So I was listening to the radio station because a lot of people are coming at Kevin Stefanski for his locker room speech after the game. Let's take a listen to what this caller had to say. But before we had to do that, we partnered up with Underdog Fantasy, and this is a word from our sponsor.
Underdog Fantasy is the best way to play fantasy sports. Let me tell you about the easiest way to get in on some WNBA and NBA action. Find your player, pick higher or lower, win you some extra cash. Pick between 2 to 5 players to fill out your pick'em entry, get every pick right, and win some serious cash. Use my promo code SBD23 and receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Now that it's football time, follow Simply Ball Dropping as I share my picks. Like I said, pick your player, choose your amount, win money. Make picks, win cash. Thank you, Underdog Fantasy, for the partnership with us, and thank you for using promo code SBD23 on Underdog Fantasy.
Now, guys, with that being said, let's listen to this caller, and then let's listen to what Mary Kay Cabot had to say.
Is that Stefanski may not like Sanders. The national media is relentlessly bashing Stefanski for refusing to give him the game ball. Now, the defense was the star of the game versus the Raiders, but what would it have hurt to give the game ball to his rookie quarterback, who was the first-round rookie to win their very first NFL start since '95? From the outside looking in, it feels like Stefanski does not vibe or connect with quarterbacks that have a freedom about their game, like Baker or Watson, and now Sanders, for example. Can this be the downfall of our coach? Or do you believe that he can marry his concepts with the ability and game of 12? Wrist up, let's go Browns.
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. Let's welcome in Mary Kay Cabot, Browns beat reporter for Plain Dealer, Cleveland.com. Mary Kay, I think that's way overblown, but I'm curious as to your thought on the relationship between Kevin Stefanski and Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, I think it's way overblown as well. If you have been on the inside like I have since day one, you know what's really been going on behind the scenes. They have spent so much extra time with Shedeur Sanders, bringing him along slowly, changing up their whole practice regimen to make sure that he gets a bunch of extra reps, to make sure that he gets those hungry dog periods at the end of practice. And then in addition to that, Kevin Stefanski spends a ton of time with Shedeur Sanders in his office, one-on-one, going over the practice tape from the day before and working with him on reading defenses and doing all of those things that he needs to do.
Man, do y'all hear what Mary Kay Cabot just had to say? That's another lie. Her and Kevin Stefanski need to get their lies straight, because in one sense, Kevin Stefanski saying Shedeur was never getting first-team reps. So now Mary Kay Cabot's coming out again saying that, you know, extra reps. Who is he getting the reps with? Who was he getting the reps with? You said you've been in camp since day one. Who was Shedeur Sanders getting reps with? Put that out there, Mary Kay. Stop backpedaling. See, now it seems like now you're trying to, protect Kevin Stefanski because of what we've seen in Shedeur, and he's proved all the haters wrong, and he's proved all the lies that Kevin Stefanski has been saying all along about Shedeur. Now you want to get on Kevin Stefanski's good side. But when you're at the post-game press conference, you are asking Kevin Stefanski all these difficult questions surrounding around Shedeur. Now you want to backpedal. Now you want to come to his defense. Now you want to be his defense mechanism. Now you want to say that it's overblown that Kevin Stefanski doesn't have dislike for Shedeur Sanders. You're telling us, you just said that Kevin Stefanski spends countless of hours with Shedeur Sanders after practice in his office. When did we hear that? Now all of a sudden that Shedeur Sanders is the starting quarterback, now y'all want to talk about this stuff. Like I've always said, what don't come out in the dark will come out in the light. What don't come out in the wash will come out in the rings. That's what I'm telling you. The media has lied to us about Shedeur Sanders, but they didn't lie to me because I know what Shedeur Sanders is all about. And then you got the haters. He's proven all the haters wrong. All the haters that want to see Shedeur Sanders fail, he said it ain't going to happen. And then also he said, hey, you got what you're looking for. You got what you're looking for. And Shedeur Sanders has that confidence. And just like his dad said, coaches don't develop quarterbacks. You got to have that in you. So for Mary Kay Cabot to come out with the defense mechanism and lie to you again, talking about Kevin Stefanski is developing Shedeur Sanders, I don't want to hear that. Shedeur Sanders was already developed. Shedeur Sanders learns, like Shedeur said, I learned by being out there. I learned by feel. I learned by touch. I learned by where the lineman going to be at. Show me the action. Let me get in the dogfight. Take the training wheels off of me. Now it's time to open up that playbook for Shedeur Sanders so he can go out there and really do his thing. Stop holding Shedeur Sanders back. Like I said, the media has lied to us too many times and countless times. Rex Ryan and Dan Orlowski, they need to keep their mouth shut when they're talking about Shedeur Sanders, because the more and more you open your mouth, the more and more you're putting your foot in your mouth, because you're saying diabolical things that don't add up. And all these people that had Shedeur Sanders as a top round draft pick, salute to you guys for staying 10 toes down. But the other people that was giving him grief and talking about stuff that was outside of football that you took away from his locker room interviews, his coaching interviews, you see what it cost Brian Daboll. Karma came back and bit him in the butt. Brian Daboll got fired from the New York Giants. That's karma. God don't like ugly. Just like Shedeur Sanders said, perfect timing. But all the haters that come on, in the comment section talking about, Dylan Gabriel's better than him, man. Y'all running a cult show and all that stuff, man. Miss me with all that. The media and the haters, it's time for y'all guys to pay for it. And Shedeur Sanders, keep going, doing your thing, proving these people that, hey, you belong, and you belong. Get down in the comments section. Let me know what you think about today's video. And if you haven't watched the video with me and G Bush at the barbershop, y'all go check that out. Let me know how y'all feel about that. I see everybody in the comments section. #salute. And you know what my mantra is. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. Catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.